Hi, I'm Allison Conley, and I am the new Prints 2019 Winter Artist-in-Residence at IPCNY. So I started diverging from the traditional methods of printmaking, and I started doing collagraphs because it allowed me to get really, really big without the burden of finding a stone that's large enough to print on or finding a plate that's big enough to etch. I made these plates in pieces and would assemble them on the press. One of those prints is in the show. So this is what one of the plates looks like. The print itself is comprised of maybe 4 or 5 of these, and they're all small pieces of folded paper with just some duct tape on, glued together on a piece of poster board and spray painted to seal the whole thing. So it allows me to make these big, long prints that mimic this notion of upward growth that I'm trying to get out of these. These are actually all supposed to be small rooftops that are kind of scrambling and building on top of each other. It's talking about how our society puts value on upward motion, and while you're doing that, you're always inevitably stepping on someone else and blocking out the light, which is where the title of the series comes from, Competing for Light. And it's not really a criticism of that, it's just making an observation of what's necessary in order to make it in our society. I think that's where a lot of my ideas for my work comes from. I don't like to think of them as criticisms, they're just how I digest that information. This body of work that I came here to do, I haven't yet done a full body of work or a suite in just relief. Really great for me because I am encountering challenges that I don't normally have. This project is based on the myth of my own childhood. I had this reoccurring memory when I was younger about my father being terrified of a house fire. It is embedded with these memories that I also have of playing on my soft pink carpet. I never had any trauma with fire, but when I went to grad school out in Colorado, I lived right near the foothills, and it was really common to wake up and see some fires and embers burning. I started to fuse the two in my head. Near the foothills in Colorado, if they were on fire, that was immersed with this memory I have of my girlhood. So what I got from that was this imminent danger of the fire, but also this possibility that it's not fire, that it's something inviting or fluffy. It also evokes the idea for me that my father was maybe picking up on something that he wasn't able to articulate in his head. We talk a lot about toxic masculinity. With my project, I'm exploring kind of the idea of toxic femininity, which I think is when you're raised with this idea that as a female, if you just behave this way, and this way, everything's gonna be okay. And you're surrounded with these elements that reinforce that. Sometimes you don't wanna do those behaviors, and sometimes even if you do, it's not okay. This project is still very new, so I'm exploring all of these ideas. It's just me juggling all this information, both personal and emotional and just factual, and trying to put it into one cohesive form. This new Prints residency program is actually the first time I've ever done a residency. It, I think, has set the bar very high because I have applied for many residencies and so few of them have offered all of the support that I got here. And I always really enjoy the shows that I put on. Even though this is a well-known, well-established gallery of printmaking, it's not just upholding artists who are already famous in the print field. It's really, I feel like, searching and trying to draw up people who are at the beginning stages or are doing something that might be unique or not recognized as traditional printmaking, and giving them the support to show their work in this great gallery in New York City